Good afternoon. You're watching Updates at Noon with me, Renee Fong. Now, in our first story, Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin is expected to unveil the cabinet lineup at 5 p.m. today. The Prime Minister's office in a statement said the Prime Minister had an audience with the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah at 11 a.m. today to present the cabinet lineup. The statement also said that after getting the consent of His Majesty, the Prime Minister is expected to announce the new cabinet lineup at 5 p.m. today at the Prime Minister's office in Putrajaya. Tan Sri Muhyiddin, 72, was sworn in as 8th Prime Minister before Al-Sultan Abdullah at Istana Negara on 1st March. Al-Sultan Abdullah appointed Tan Sri Muhyiddin as the Prime Minister in accordance with Articles 40, subsection 2, subsection A and 43, subsection 2, subsection A of the Federal Constitution. The new Chief Minister of Malacca is set to be unveiled today before the swearing-in ceremony to be held at 3 p.m. today. With 13 seats in the State Assembly, one of the UMNO Assemblymen is expected to be appointed by Yang di-Pertua Negeri Tun Dr. Muhammad Khalil Yaakob as the 12th Chief Minister, while Bersatu only has 2 seats in the State Assembly. Among the potential candidates for the top post in the state are Payat Rumput Assemblyman, who is also the Deputy Melaka Bersatu Chief, Datuk Muhammad Rafiq Naiza Mohidin, and Lendu Assemblyman, who is also the Melaka UMNO Secretary, Datuk Sulaiman Mad Ali. Former Melaka Chief Minister and Sungai Udang Assemblyman, Datuk Sri Idris Harum, and Kuala Linggi Assemblyman, Datuk Wira Ismail Othman, were also set to be potential candidates for the post. The new Chief Minister is set to swear in before Tun Dr. Muhammad Khalil at Complex Seri Negeri today. Labuan Parti Pribumi Bersatu Malaysia Bersatu Chief Datuk Suhaili Abdul Rahman yesterday called on the Labuan Corporation Chairman as well as the Chairman and all board members of the Labuan Port Authority LPA to step down as they were political appointees under the previous government. He said this after praising the decision of 5 members of the Labuan Corporation's Advisory Council led by Labuan Member of Parliament MP Datuk Rosman Isli to resign from their positions, describing the move as in keeping with the transition in power taking place within the government. The 5 members represent the component parties of the Pakatan Harapan PH Coalition and its partner Parti Warisan Sabah Warisan.
Yang mana telah menyatakan pendirian mereka untuk meninggalkan parti masing-masing untuk menyokong dan menyertai Parti Pribumi Bersatu Malaysia ataupun Bersatu di atas keyakinan mereka terhadap kepimpinan Yang Amat Berhormat Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin selaku Perdana Menteri Malaysia yang ke-8.
Their action should be followed by the Labuan Corporation Chairman, who is also a political appointee, Datuk Suhaili said, while urging all Labuan Port Authority board members, including its chairman, to vacate their positions, which were also political appointments. Speaking to the media, Datuk Suhaili said the Labuan Port Authority Chairman, who was the DAP MP for Kota Kinabalu, had been appointed by the previous Transport Minister, who was from DAP, while the board members were leaders from Warisan and PKR. Malaysia recorded yet another 6 new positive COVID-19 cases yesterday, bringing the total number to 99. Health Director General Datuk Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah said all the new cases reported were the close contacts of the cluster linked to the 26th patient. Datuk Dr. Nur Hisham said all new cases were detected and isolated for further treatment, and the close contacts of these cases were being identified for investigation and sampling. He said all the cases were detected during contact tracking activities and they were admitted to the hospital for isolation and further treatment. He said on cases for the second wave beginning from the 23rd to the 99th case, only 5 were reported from POI and with history of travelling abroad, while the other cases involved clusters consisting of close contacts and related to one another. Meanwhile, the Health Director General said the 41st patient had recovered and was allowed to be discharged from the Kuala Lumpur hospital ward. This brings to 24 cases of those who had fully recovered from COVID-19 and discharged from the ward. "25 illegal immigrants were detained during Ops Gasa launched by the Eastern Sabah Security Command (ESCOM) in Kampong Forest and Sandakan town. ESCOM Commander Datuk Hazani Ghazali said the operation will be continued in other areas in the Eastern Sabah Security Zone (S-Zone) to eradicate the presence of illegal immigrants in several hotspots. Hazani said in the operation that was launched at 3:30 a.m. until 12 noon yesterday, the security team had inspected 99 people and 25 people were detained for not possessing valid self-identification document or having suspicious documents. He said the operation also aims to detect and eliminate the insiders who have been responsible for supplying information and have become the cause for all kidnap for ransom KFR cases in east coast of Sabah. 13 of the detainees were male, while 12 were female, including 2 children. The inspection of documentation was conducted by officers from the Immigration Department and National Registration Department. The detainees have been sent to the Sandakan Temporary Detention Centre for documentation before they are deported to their respective countries. The cases are investigated under Immigration Act 1956 and 63. Meanwhile, Hazani said ESCOM will enhance its operations this year to eradicate illegal immigrants and insiders for KFR cases, as well as to neutralize hotspot locations from criminal activities. He said if such operation is not conducted continuously, especially in hotspots and in places that are suspected to be criminals' hiding spots, it would risk the safety and sovereignty of the country. A Class C fishing trawler was detained near Kedah waters yesterday for fishing under the stipulated 50 nautical mile radius. Kuala Kedah Maritime Zone Director Captain Muhammad Faisal Ahmad confirmed that the trawler skipper along with 2 crews were detained. He said that those detained were Thai nationals. The trawler was detained at 9.4 nautical miles southwest of Sungai Limau in Yan. All those detained aged between 53 to 63 were detained under Section 8, Subsection B of the Fisheries Act 1985 for violating their fishing permit. Their catch were initially thrown overboard to deter the authorities from their activities. The trawler, along with the detainees, were taken to the Kuala Kedah Maritime Zone jetty for further action. The Labuan Maritime Zone detained a foreign fishing boat from Vietnam for trespassing the national waters near Tanjung Kim Sam, Labuan yesterday. Its Director Maritime Commander Nur Bakari Abu Bakar said the boat was detained at about 2:40 p.m., where 5 Vietnam nationals were arrested. Investigation found that all detainees aged between 20 and 50 failed to present legal identification and boat license. The case is investigated under Fisheries Act 1985 and Immigration Act 1959-63. The detainees were sent to Labuan Maritime Zone Jetty for further action. A 58-year-old woman was found dead with her hands tied and mouth gagged in a room at her rented home in Taman Sutra Idaman near Sungai Petani yesterday morning. Kuala Muda Deputy Police Chief Superintendent Shamsuddin Mamat said the body of the childminder was discovered after a man who wanted to drop off his child called police when she did not answer the door. Met at the scene, Shamsuddin said suspecting something was not right, the man decided to call the police. He said a police patrol unit arrived at the house and upon inspection, policemen found the woman lying on the floor near the bed in the master bedroom. Shamsuddin said initial investigation around the house found that there were no signs of break-in or burglary. He added the victim, a divorcee, had lived alone in the house for 3 years. He also said the victim could have been dead for more than 12 hours and the body was sent to Sultanah Bahia Hospital Alostar for post-mortem. The case is being investigated under Section 302 of the Penal Code for murder. Coming up shortly, International Women's Day, a recognition of strengths and potential of women. After 6 long years of the MH17 shooting down incident in East Ukraine, the criminal proceeding against the 4 suspects are set to begin today in District Court of The Hague at the Schiphol Judicial Complex, JCS. The trial is set to begin at 10 a.m. local time or 5 p.m. Malaysian time. It was reported that the MH17 flight was downed by a BUK missile while flying over the conflict-hit eastern Ukraine. The accused are Russians Igor Girkin, Sergei Dubinsky and Oleg Pulatov, as well as Ukrainian Leonid Karchenko. The trial will decide who was the person responsible for the launching missile and who was responsible for issuing the order to launch it. In the incident, all 298 people on board, comprising 43 Malaysians, 193 Dutch nationals and 27 Australians, were killed. Meanwhile, the Dutch Safety Board has praised the Malaysian team for the cooperation in recovering the black box of MH17 from the crash site. Senior aviation investigator Gisbert Vogelaar said the black box was a critical piece of evidence in the board's investigation to identify the cause of the plane crash. The team that was tasked with entering the crash site was led by Colonel Muhammad Sakri Hussain, who was then the National Security Council Principal Secretary. A black box consists of 2 boxes, a cockpit voice recorder and a data recorder. The flight data recorder records a stream of flight information, while the cockpit voice recorder stores conversations and other noises made in the cockpit. Vogelaar said the Malaysian representatives did a very good job to get the recorder, which is the black box. Former Minister Tan Sri Rafida Aziz has called on Malaysian women to recognise the International Women's Day, celebrated yesterday, as a day to be reminded of their strengths, capabilities and potential. It's not about wanting to be equal to men, but always striving to be equal, to be the best in whatever women do, in whatever capacity, according to Tan Sri Rafida, who served as a minister from 1980 to 2008. She said women should be the best they can without glass ceilings and quota constraints.
Jadi kita ubahlah ni sikap macam ni. Kita nak wanita, anak kita siapa wanita ni? Anak kita, cucu kita. Yang muda-muda tu isteri kita, betul tak? Kalau mereka dididik dengan baik, pergi pelajaran dan diberi peluang untuk meningkatkan keupayaan, kalau orang ni naik, maka berbeza kita menengok, betul tak? Jangan letakkan dengan nak letak angka di 24.
The former International Trade and Industries Minister said this when opening the Global Women's Day celebration in Kuang, Sungai Buloh yesterday. Citing an example, she said the team of Muhammad Sabu and Liu Chin Tong, who served as Defence and Deputy Defence Ministers in the recent Pakatan Harapan administration, lauded women, particularly those serving in the Malaysian Armed Forces and the Defence Ministry. Today's updates at noon. In our top story, new cabinet lineup to be unveiled at 5. I'm Renee Fong. Thanks for watching and have a pleasant afternoon.